Welcome to the Flaming Puck podcast with me, your host, Ian the Dynamo Kelly, as always, joined by Mr. Chris No Taste Ruback. And of
Coming back, baby.
and of course, Dylan, his head is really cold at the moment. Simpson. Gentlemen, first and foremost, another week, another Flame show. How are we today?
Freaking A, buddy. Got a Ottawa Senators game we need to kick ass in a couple hours.
Yeah,
so that'll be exciting.
Sure. Which, thankfully, the gods have aligned and put it on at a time where you truly will be able to watch it all the way over here in the Emerald Isle. But
that's right.
First and foremost, let's take care of a little bit of business. We are the Flaming Puck podcast, of course, brought to you as always by the Dynamo Podcast Network. So far, so good, especially last week's show. We are back in the game. You have all reached out with lots of great feedback. Some not so great feedback, but that's okay. Might have ruffled some feathers, but that's all good. There's no such thing. No such thing as bad publicity. But if you do enjoy the show, what you need to do, you need to go onto YouTube and click into the Dynamo Podcast Network link. You will find the Flaming Puck has its own playlist there where you can go back and watch old shows. And even if it's not of relevance anymore in terms of games, you can watch us just be jackasses and shoot the shit and drink beer and support the show. One important thing that we really need from y'all with the show is to make sure that you hit the like button, leave a comment, and make sure that you hit the bell notification and subscribe. Because it means the world to us. And also, for all you audio listeners out there, our last two shows are now anywhere you listen to your audio. So we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your favorite shows. If you want to just hear the soothing sound of our voices, especially in the morning commute, we are there. But let's begin. Dylan, we're going to kick off with you today, my friend.
Well, I wanted to touch a little bit on the loser point, and I mean, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, it's helping us out a lot, because if we didn't have it, we'd be 7-7, and I believe we'd be just out of the playoff picture. We'd be a few points behind San Jose, but here we are, just a couple points out of first. So in the Pacific, that is,
we'd be tied with the Sharks. But,
would we?
Yeah, which is gross.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not the biggest advocate of 3-on-3. I understand why they want us to get the games over with for broadcasting reasons or whatever. So games don't last forever in overtime, but. I mean, Flames are reaping the benefits of having a downswing in early in the season and squeezing points out of losses. So can't really argue with that.
Yeah, we have 4 of them this month alone, right? 4 out of 6 games.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. Yeah.
So it's, I mean, getting those 4 extra points is helping us be tied for, I guess, 3rd in the Pacific Division, which is good. I mean, we had the chance to go up ahead of Edmonton at the beginning of the week, and obviously that didn't work out. Thankfully, they're not winning games right now either, at the same rate that they were. Definitely didn't consider the Ducks being the sleeper coming in and taking second in the division. That's for sure.
Yeah, they've been quite a surprise, eh?
Yeah, they really have. But I mean, essentially, when you take out those loser points, we're back to 500 hockey, which is kind of where the Flames have been at for 15 years ish. So we need to get back on those winning ways, starting this afternoon.
Hopefully, that Ottawa game will give us, hopefully Markstrom will give us a good game, and hopefully being able to score will come out again and give the boys.
Ottawa off the back of a pretty big win last night as well, so it'd be
hopefully they're a bit tired. They've only won 4 games all year, so there's no need for them to win a 5th one today. That's for damn sure.
Agreed.
And we're off to the races. Dylan, you also wanted to mention couple of other things, right?
Yeah. First of all, I did a poll, and I'll pull it up here. I only put it up about an hour and a half ago, but I think I want to get your guys' opinions on it first. We kind of touched on it last week. Rasmus is probably doing a little bit better 5-on-5 than than he did last year. He's still struggling on the power play, at least on power play 1, being the only defenseman. And even though our power play has been pretty good, he hasn't really been a huge part of the reason why. And my poll was, who internally do we have that would be a better option? And I'm going to pass it over to you guys for your guys' opinions while I pull up the results so far of this poll.
So my take on Anderson on the power play, it's funny because we did actually talk about this last week, and how we figured he needs to start shooting more and instead of trying to be cute and pass it off and doing the things he's been doing so far this year. Funny enough, since that episode, he has been shooting a lot more, and not blaming him, certainly not saying he's the reason, but since then our power play has been abysmal. So I think that's kind of an interesting thing where, the guy at the point wasn't shooting. We were right up there. I think we were fifth or seventh in the league for power play at the time.
Yeah.
And now that he is shooting, I don't know. I think we've had 1 goal in 3 games in the power play. So, like I said, not saying he's the cause. I just find that to be interesting.
Yeah.
But you are right. He is having a better season 5-on-5 for sure.
Yeah.
But I do personally believe that it's time to try a new person on that back end. Me, I would rather have Stone there because his shot and the fact he actually hits the net with it. But given the players that we have, I mean, I don't know what the results of the poll are, but personally myself, I would mind seeing Gudbranson or even Zadorov, to be honest. Both of them have been shooting the puck a ton over the last 3 games. Zadorov was rewarded with an assist and a goal there a couple of games ago. So it's not really resulting in points, but it's good to see. It's good to see shots being directed towards the net, and if we can get Sean or Chucky in front, trying to pick up that rebound, I think the result would be more playoff goals, right? That's my thought. I wouldn't mind either one of them. I know people would like to see Shillington on that point. I do understand the reason as far as his offensive plays, but I think he's better at joining the rush than he would be to power or quarterback the power play. Personally,
I agree with
that. I was going to say I agree with that too, because initially I thought people are going to be chiming for Shillington because he's flavor of the month at the moment, and rightly so.
Well, for sure. His offensive numbers this year have been phenomenal. They've been great. But at the same time, I personally don't feel that his defense has been
exactly
great.
Exactly.
It's been okay in spurts, but it's not
nice.
Yeah. Obviously he had probably the worst,
a little bit 50-50 on it.
Preseason you could possibly imagine. It was horrendous.
Dreadful.
Really but since he's gotten back into the lineup, I certainly don't have an issue with his game. I don't find him to be coughing up the puck like he was. He's making better breakout passes, obviously, than he was during that preseason. I don't know if that's just a comfort level. He's getting comfortable with his partner, and they're starting to gel a little bit. That being said, though, Branson's kind of had a rough couple of games. As far as taking penalties and losing the puck and things like that. An issue with what Zadorov's brought to the table since getting back into the lineup. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So what player do you think would be best suited up there on power play 1, Ian?
Gudbranson for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just purely think for the reasons that Chris mentioned, but also I just trust him a little bit more than Zadorov at the moment.
Sure.
I do agree with what you guys said that Zadorov has gotten a little bit better, but I think we've gotten a little bit more from Gudbranson this season as a whole thus far than we have from Zadorov. He's obviously Zadorov,
and he's shooting. I mean, not that Zadorov isn't shooting, but Gudbranson is shooting a lot.
Yeah, he's got a good shot.
He does. Yeah. So my thought was Stone, because he's got a heck of a point bomb. I know he doesn't play that often, but I think he should. He's.
What do you take out to put Stone in?
Hugely underrated.
Do you take Zadorov out, or do you take Branson out? Or?
Yeah.
As far as, I mean, and the other thing is with Shillington, even though it's on the power play, and he does play really good offense, he falls and he'll, we can't leave Johnny, who's going to be at the other point, taking 2-on-1s going the other way.
Yeah. Even though Johnny's defensive game has improved greatly this year, but still, you don't want that as your only option. That's for damn sure.
Exactly. And that's my thought. I think Shillington would be a great option for power play 2, because power play 2 should, in my opinion, have 2 defensemen. And maybe have him with Raz or somebody who's going to stay back a little bit more, or with somebody else who's Branson, who's going to stay back a little more and be able to play that defense while Shillington activates.
Yeah, it might be a good spot for Noah as well, right? Shillington and Hannafin might actually be a decent pairing on the blue line.
Good show, actually. Yeah.
So here's the results so far of the poll. Again, I only put it up in Flames Hub a couple hours ago or whatever. So number 1 is Shillington with 40 votes.
We knew that. A lot. We knew that would be the case.
Yeah. And second is Gudbranson.
Really? I'm surprised by that.
With
3 votes.
Yeah. And then tied for third is Tanev for some reason, and Stone, who I voted for, and actually Mackey. Call up Mackey.
Jesus Christ.
And then no Valimaki, no Zadorov, no anybody else, but 1 for Hannafin, who's I put my blurb on Hannafin was try Hannafin for some reason, because
I saw that you definitely directed the audience on that one. I wanted to slap your hand for that.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm surprised that Gudbranson came in second, obviously with only 3 votes, but it's interesting. Yeah. And Mackey, come on now.
Yeah, I just put it on there because, why not?
Yeah,
but
that's
I
fair.
found it interesting that nobody said Valimaki, because that was at the beginning of last year when when he first came back over from his injury and from his great time in Europe. He was somebody that a lot of people thought, hey, his offensive upside is great, and maybe a power play specialist or something like that, but he's proven nothing to me. Like the fact that I feel the way I do about Zadorov, and I still would rather have Zadorov out there than Valimaki is.
That's a statement, I think, truly on how Valimaki has played so far.
I'd rather have fucking Sam Bennett on the point than Valimaki.
Oh shit! Jesus Christ, that just happened. Okay, that's that tells me everything I need to know right there.
You don't know what you got till it's gone, right?
Anyways, go ahead. Ian, is there something?
Chris, you wanted to touch on some of your points from the week gone, boys, since we spoke last as well. So,
I think one of my takeaways, at least from the last 3 games, has been Tanev has really struggled. Not sure what the reasoning is. I think he's trying to do a bit too much to kind of compensate for the lack of not really having a defensive partner in Shillington.
Yeah.
So I
had 100 broken ribs over the years, probably as well.
Sure, right, but I mean, like just little things like there, Shillington has been a direct result of two goals by just literally skating away from his assignment in front of the net, which I can't imagine why he's doing that. And so Tanev's trying to get in there and be that backup, but he can't cover two to three people, obviously, right? I mean, as good as he is, he's just he's not Superman. But he's also been coughing the puck up a lot, which is weird. So I don't know if it's a confidence thing right now where he feels he needs to get rid of it quickly or make a great play to get out of the zone. But I find that he's just not making those exit passes like he was last year, where that first pass was just bang on the tape and away they go out of the zone. So it's been I've been trying to really focus on watching him play just based on that, because I do think he's trying to cover for a lack of actual defensive partner in Shillington.
Yeah, I could see that. And it's tough to see somebody who's always been so strong defensively struggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. And I honestly, and I know Steve King from Flames Hub kind of even brought it up as well, but I honestly believe that Noah Hannafin is injured. I don't think, because he did have that one game off? I think it was only the one game off for the injury. I don't think he's fully recovered from that. And I think his play is struggling. So I don't know, personally myself, I would bring Stone in to replace him, let him have a couple of days to rest and heal up. That would be what I would think. I certainly don't want them to bring Valimaki in to replace him. I'd rather have somebody there that can play defense and just be more stable and honest.
I agree.
Do you think guys, that with the loss of Gio, obviously that's been, a lot of people, I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I'm not going to throw any under the bus, but we all know who we're talking about this year. There were certain podcasts that were ripping on Gio, for the last 2 years. And then when we finally got rid of him, then it was like, oh, this is the problem. This is the problem. We got rid of Gio.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't buy that.
I don't buy that either.
Me neither. But the question I'm going to ask you guys is, do you think that maybe between Brad and Daryl, that they kind of overlooked what they needed for defense this year, or do you think?
No,
that they.
I don't think that at all. I think the only thing they truly needed to fill were his minutes, and I think they've done that successfully.
Yeah, no, I have that opinion as well.
The Flames as a whole are playing better defensively now than they were last year, the year before that.
So.
So I don't think that's really any excuse at all. I don't buy that for a second. Like I said, the only thing they had to replace were his minutes. We've successfully replaced his defensive play by just putting people out there.
Yeah,
I agree. Really?
Yeah, me too.
Because I don't know, Giordano, the last couple of years, he's had the odd fantastic offensive play and the odd fantastic defensive play, but the amount of gaffes, I don't think many people really, maybe they saw the gaffes and they just kind of let it slide because of, it's the captain and whatever. But for me, it's pretty obvious, and it has been for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
He lost a step. He's still going to put up offensive numbers. He's still going to power play quarterback,
For sure.
But the big thing, you're right, was the the minutes, and I think we've successfully done that. Now we just finished talking about the whole power play thing, and maybe that was a thing that could be, instead of signing 3 defensive defensemen, maybe we could have gone and got 1 power play quarterback. But at the same time, I don't think a Daryl Sutter coach team is really thinking, hey, we need to find somebody who's going to put up points on the back end.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, in Gio's defense, he's 38 years old. That's just what happens.
That's
like,
how
it's not. Yeah, I'm not. It's no slight on Mark Giordano. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
simple as that.
Exactly. Like look at Chara. Like he's what is he, 42 or whatever now, and he's signing 1-year league minimum contracts. At one time he was the literal best defenseman in the game for many years, a couple of years at least, and now he's just a guy who
doesn't want to hang it up, and good for him. And he still wants to play. I get it, but you just at some point you just become not the number 1 guy around.
Yeah.
So no, agreed.
100%. There's a quick one, guys. Who do you think at this moment in time? Because we always hear talk about McKinnon and McDavid and stuff. Just for fun, who would you guys say off the top of your head would be the 2 top guys in the league at the moment defensively? As in, they are your defensive men that you would consider the best at the moment.
Jeez.
I just kind of like doing these on the spot questions. Sorry.
I'm a big fan of Hedman from Tampa.
I am too.
Yeah.
And honestly, he's been hurt this year, but Cale Makar, I know he's still young and he gets the points and he might not have the defense down, but he's like 20. He could very well. I see him being the best defenseman in the league as soon as 2 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think it's
like actual defenseman, right? We're not talking like the flawed trophy that they hand out at the end of the year for the defenseman with the most points.
Yeah, absolutely. Like and actual Hedman, the thing about Hedman is that he gets the points, but he also plays the defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, getting the points is to me very secondary. So if he can get the points, but actually be, not necessarily saying stay at home defenseman, because that's a term I find to be overused. Because I honestly think that if you're paid to be a defenseman, that's your goddamn role. So do that. And if you get points, great. That's great news. But defense first has to be the mentality for a defenseman. That's sorry, Carlson, you're out.
Well, he's never. I mean, the last 5 years, he's kind of not been that great.
He's never been a great defenseman ever.
No, I mean
in his entire career, he gets a ton of points. Like he should be a winger.
Like, his whole career he's fallen over and broken an ankle. So
but he keeps winning the fucking trophy. God, that pisses me off. One of the worst defensemen in the league keeps winning the best defenseman in the league. How is that possible?
No, people.
Couple of shout outs of young guys that I really like that I think are going to be good. Not necessarily the best, but I think are good. Obviously, I do like McAvoy, but I really like Sider from Detroit. I think he's going to. He's going to be a really good, tough.
Yeah, he's good, he's stable. Yeah.
I like him. I think he's got a lot of potential. Any kind of closing thoughts, guys? I suppose this show will be up after the game. So let's kind of spend the last kind of 5-10 minutes that we have here talking about the game tonight, which people will know our feelings. Obviously, one of us will get egg.
Well, if Ian's going to go the whole show without bringing him up, I'll do it. That's fine. What about our boy, right? Luch, right? Still freaking going strong. I think he's going to get over 20 goals this year.
Luch, we mentioned last week. I'm glad you guys are bringing him up now, and the reason I don't bring him up anymore is because I think last season I done a good enough job that people within the Flames hub world kind of know when to bring him up for me.
Well, he's been such a rock in our system.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like he's showing such true leadership these days. In that last game there were what's his nuts was trying to get him to fight there, Reeves.
Yeah, against New York
for no reason, right? Like we're already up 2 goals or 3 goals, whatever it is, right? And he's just like, no, it's not the time. And good on him, right?
Yep.
Lucha 5 years ago would have taken that fight, won or lost or whatever the outcome would have been. But he's really showing to be a true leader.
Let me stop you there. Luch doesn't lose fights. I'm just going to say that.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, if anybody's going to beat him, it might be Reeves.
Well,
Dylan, he's still going to hurt at least.
Dylan, you've been cut. I'm only kidding.
But yeah, and obviously our top line struggled in the last 3 games. Johnny's the only one with a single assist in those 3 games. We knew that was going to happen. Obviously Lindholm isn't going to end up with 80, 89 or 92 goals like he was on pace for after the first couple of weeks. They'll get back to it. Chucky's looked great in my opinion. Yep. He's not aside from that big hit that everybody's talking about in Toronto, which I fucking hate people that hit other people with their ass. Just drive through the guy and take him out. Don't turn around. But he's looked really good. He's still looking strong. His vision on the puck has been really good. Lindholm, if he's not scoring goals, you have to appreciate what he's doing for 200 feet of that ice. Yep. And Johnny is still motivated. He's taking shots again. It's actually fun to watch them now.
I agree. I think maybe playing with Lindholm has improved Tkachuk's hockey IQ. Maybe it's a monkey see, monkey do type of thing.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that's the reason, but whatever the reason, Tkachuk's hockey IQ has skyrocketed, I think, in the last few weeks.
You know what I think, Dylan, I agree as well. And I think primarily what he's probably done through listening to all, the critique and all of the talk, he's kind of primarily, he's put his head down and he's just said, I'm just going to play hockey and show that I'm worth this new contract. You know what I mean?
For sure.
If it's not with Calgary, it's going to be with somebody, and I think that's...
Yeah, he's going to get paid, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's going to get paid.
I think Brad, Brad obviously loves him. And I think, the Flames franchise as a whole loves him. And I think he loves the Flames too. I think he knows.
He's one of the most dynamic players in the league. How do you not love him?
But I think he sees this as potentially his home in the sense that he can be the guy, going forward. And I think that's just a new... Dylan made that really good point about, his hockey IQ has gone up. And I think if he puts his head down and he thinks that way, he really could be the guy that is both worth the money that he gets, but the guy to lead us into the future. You know what I mean? And
honestly, if anybody is going to play Daryl Sutter style hockey, crash and bang cycle, get in front of the net and get a greasy rebound, it's probably him.
Yep.
Out of all the guys we have, right?
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of hard work, I'll be the first to admit I saw absolutely nothing in Pitlick before we started playing games, but holy shit, the guy just works his ass off every single game.
He's a really good compliment to Backlund, I think.
Really? Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're not getting the points, which surprises the hell out of me.
To the guy out there as well who put it in Flames over Calgary Flames fans saying that Backlund is overrated and how awful it has been.
Well, then 2 hours later, he tries to sneak in a post to say that Backlund's the greatest thing since fucking sliced bread.
That's just the epitome of a troll. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Get your mind right.
We're not even going to call your name out on this. That's what we're going to call you.
Like most overrated player in Flames history. Are you shitting me?
Yeah, that's
the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of dumb shit when it comes to hockey fans. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, real quick, what are you guys' predictions for tonight?
Yeah, I was going to suggest that, Dylan. So thank you for leading me in. I'll go first. I do see a bounce back. I see a win, personally. I think purely because of the high that Ottawa are on from last night, but they played. I mean, there's not a lot of recovery time for Ottawa, and I think we could take advantage of that. I'm not going to say I don't see a high-scoring game because I've said that so many times this year, and I've been proven wrong with the Flames. I'm going to go 4-2, personally.
That's fair. I mean, coming off of a couple of disappointing games between Montreal and Toronto, Montreal, that was a bad game. There's no reason we should have lost that game. They played like horse shit.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Toronto's Toronto. Fuck.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the second day of a back-to-back. I expected a bit more. They played okay in stretches, but I think today they're going to come out flying. They're going to get back to the body because they were out hit by both Toronto and Montreal, and that's just not Sutter hockey at all. I think they're going to abuse Kachuk in Ottawa. They're going to. I think so. He's going to get torn off his game once again, like he does. He gets flustered quickly when people start abusing him, and I think that'll be the game plan. I think we win by 3.
I was going to say 4-1.
I can see 4-1. And that one and only goal is going to be within the last 2 minutes of the game.
I was going to say it's going to be within the first few minutes. Not just to be a dick to you, but just because they're flying high off of yesterday and quick start and then lose their legs type of thing.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. Well, look, to be fair, Dylan and myself are the only two to pick a scoreline. So, Chris, we got to put you on the spot. What's the score going to be? You said by 3, but what's that going to be? 3, 4-1, 5-2.
Yeah,
nice. I like that.
Okay, going to be
with 2 power play goals.
Ooh, nice.
One of from Monahan, just so we can shut up beer. Shut up beer. Fucking beer.
I like beer.
He's a good guy. He's a great guy.
I like you, beer.
He takes a lot of abuse.
I'm not going to say it anymore. Don't mind these guys. I've got your back. But I'm going to say I'm going to be cheeky here, and maybe it's just I see a Kachuk goal. Kachuk goal.
Power play.
I
need extra points in my fantasy.
I'd like a Kachuk goal, and I think Gaudreau and Lindholm are long overdue another goal. So I'm gonna be optimistic, and I'm gonna say
we're going top line. Top line's going to explode tonight.
That's kind of my thought. The first line, no matter who Ottawa plays in net, they're not going to be the best goalie in the league.
No.
I don't know if Murray's still hurt or not, but if he's not and he plays, and he's, in my opinion, the absolute worst starting goaltender in the league, I think we'll fucking just tear them apart. And it'll be the first line. It's about time.
Okay. Well, look, that has been all for us fine looking gentlemen today. The Flaming Puck, this has been your show. Please do let us know in the comments tomorrow, because obviously tomorrow we'll know the result, and if we have egg on our face, listen.
So be it.
Got some pretty thick skin.
Hit us where
below.
Yeah.
Try to hit us where it hurts. Yeah, try to hit us where it hurts. We're ready for it. We're able. We're big boys.
That's right. Bring it on, fuckers.
We don't play with our heads down like Dylan Dubé.
Ew.
Ew. Listen, gentlemen.
Anyways,
as always, it's a pleasure to catch up with you guys each and every week. Same with all of our fans. But until next week, This is the Flaming Puck. I am Ian the Dynamo Kelly, Chris Ruback, Dylan Simpson. Please enjoy the hockey and keep on trucking.